Hey, it's the Nerdy Sports Fan. We're wrapping up week 5 with the Monday night game. The Browns visiting the San Francisco 49ers. In the offseason, if you mentioned this game, everybody would have ridden the hype train for the Browns and said Cleveland all day. 49ers did more to fix their defense than anybody. With who they drafted, who they picked up in free agency. They turned this around to a very, very difficult pass rush to deal with. With the signing of Richard Sherman, they shored up the defensive secondary. And sure, nobody really has a household name at linebacker there, but they're solid. Okay? It's not like, the Bengals that have homeless people at freaking linebacker. Offense looks so much different with Jimmy G at quarterback. It's insane. They still have George Kittle, who's the best tight end in the game. He's just not focused on offensively as other tight ends are, okay? But he is absolutely the best tight end going right now. And their running game seems very, very, very good with whoever is running the ball. Fantasy football-wise, that can be a bit of a challenge because Mostert, Breda, Coleman, whoever is in there ends up doing pretty well, but when all of them are healthy, they all get touches. It really muddies the water. It's hard to call it, but right now, Breda seems to be the guy getting the most touches. So if you have to start a San Francisco running back, put Breda in. He's a flex option at best, though, because of how iffy it is with their backfield situation. Wide receivers, George Kittle is leading this group in receiving yards. Okay, he's their tight end. It's for a reason. They have talented wide receivers. They don't have a single one that's so talented he's the go-to. Not one. So don't start San Francisco wide receivers. Just don't do it. You'll pick one that you think is going to do well. A different one is going to do well. Because they're all even. They've got 4 or 5 guys that are on the same talent level between some veterans and some rookies. And one week it'll be Deebo Samuel. One week it'll be Pettis. One week it'll be Marquise Goodwin. And it'll always be the one that you left on the bench. Guarantee it. All right? That's just how their offense is working right now. So only start them in absolute desperation. Jimmy G still isn't at a consistent fantasy football start level. He's just very good for this offense to keep them on the field and keep them on schedule. So as far as fantasy football starts go, George Kittle, that's it. That's it. That being said, they're going to win. They're going to win big, and most of the country agrees with me. 70% of the country is saying that San Francisco is going to win here. Cleveland showed one really good game. One really good game offensively. Defensively, they were terrible against the Ravens. Okay? Any team that gives up 40 points, I don't care if you win, you did bad on defense. So San Francisco will be able to take advantage of them in the same way. San Francisco's defense is better than the Ravens' defense. And they're at home. So I think San Francisco's defense needs to be picked up by everybody this week, because even though they're not going to be a very good fantasy play this week, the rest of the season they've got some very, very, very good matchups. And even though they had an early bye, they're one of the top scoring defenses in fantasy right now. You need to pick them up. They are legit because of what they did in the offseason. Pick up San Francisco's defense. They will end up top 5, top 6 at the end of the season. The Cleveland Browns, man, did Chubb look damn good last week. He ran all over that Ravens defense. You're not going to get production like that every week out of the guy. You're just not. People are going to key in on him, make you beat him with the passing game. And sure, you've got Odell Beckham, but now Landry's hurt. So without Landry, everybody's going to key on Beckham. And this is a very good San Francisco defense. So they can limit Beckham in a way and limit Chubb in a way, because defenses can typically stop two things: the over the top, the running game, the seam. So whoever the seam targets are for the Browns, that's going to be the people that have the openings. And Njoku might get himself a game. We haven't really seen much of him this season. People thought he was going to be better off than he has been. But yeah, this might be a good game for him because Landry's gone. This would have been the game I said Landry is the option. But because of his injury, both Chubb and Beckham get a bit devalued because defenses can now key on them. And Baker Mayfield's going to have to make it work with the leftovers. We'll see how good their leftovers are. But I just don't think they're good enough to beat this defense on the road. I don't. I think Baker is going to get introduced to the turf quite a few more times than he would like. And that might result in a turnover or two that swings the game in San Francisco's favor. Obviously, you're starting Chubb. Obviously, you're starting Odell because they are target centers, unlike what you have in San Francisco where the ball's getting spread between too many people. So fantasy football-wise, the Browns are better because you have people you know you can trust that are going to get all of the options going to them. Actual football, San Francisco's better off because they're so multiple, you don't know what the hell's coming at you. So San Francisco's going to win. You're going to want to start more Browns than 49ers outside of the defense. I put the 49ers defense in just because there's not many better. And you need to pick up 49ers defense in fantasy right now. Because as of next week, everybody else is going to be jumping on picking these guys up. They just want to avoid the Browns. Because the Browns are a high-scoring team. This is a 3.5-point favorite for San Francisco. I got them winning by a touchdown. I would actually bet this game. And I really don't bet. Really don't. But, yeah, I think San Francisco has this one in the bag. Cleveland's last week was more of a flash in the pan than a sign of things to come. Whereas the 49ers, they're legit. And they're going to be legit all year. They're going to get into the playoffs this year. And they're going to do some damage. Hit me up with what you think about the trajectories of both of these teams coming up rather than just slumping how they've been the past few seasons. Hit up the rest of the videos for my fantasy football advice in the other games and the Nerdy Sports Fan Weekly Episode 5 to see how I felt the opening quarter of the season shaped out. See you next week, guys.